your host, Quentin, and welcome to Slavery Unknown. Today, we're going to talk about two subjects that you can take, do more research, and get a better understanding of history and what it actually means. So, we're going to talk about Capoeira. It's a Brazilian martial arts that was derived in Portugal, and then we're also going to discuss the president, Abraham Lincoln, and his relationship with American slaves. All right, so Abraham Lincoln. He is enshrined forever in the hearts of many from the United States and probably throughout the world for his leadership skills, and he's known best for freeing the slaves. Is this accurate? Well, one would surely and easily see that not so much, just doing a little bit of research. You won't have to dig too deep, and you'll find that Lincoln never quite took a concrete stand on the subject of slavery either way, and when he did take action, it was more for political gain than anything else. So let's talk first about the Emancipation Proclamation, where that's the document that many people view as a document that freed slaves. Now, the Emancipation Proclamation, it did not free 100% of the slaves 100%. If that makes any sense to you guys. And what he did was, at the time of the Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln was in the middle of a bloody, disgusting civil war. And he wanted to, one, win the war swiftly and quickly, and then to reunify this brand new nation, United States of America. Now, the funding of all this, the income that was coming into the country, the funding and the support of the military was all done on the backs of slaves picking cotton. Okay? So it was paramount that something be done about it. And so when the timing came to sign the Emancipation Proclamation and put it into effect, he was thinking about winning the war, the financial state of the Union, and then also his relationship with foreign countries that viewed slavery in a negative light. Lincoln is often quoted as saying all these great things about him being against slavery, but he also says some great things about not being against slavery or being very in the middle of it. He's known for saying if slavery is not wrong, then nothing is wrong. And a lot of people say, oh, yay, rah, rah to that. But also, as far as it goes with his opposition to slavery, that doesn't mean that he saw equality for blacks. He's even been quoted as saying that he didn't understand that just because he viewed that a Negro woman should not be enslaved did not mean that he would have her for a wife. Now, is that racism or is that personal choice? I don't know either way. It's something that is in our history. You can easily find it, and I think people just choose to go the one way. And some of that may have to do with the assassination. That is very sad and unfortunate, and we don't know what would have happened if he had to continue on with the presidency and his political career. Also, when it comes to the Dred Scott decision, President Lincoln, abolitionists from that time period ultimately that he never took a concrete stand on it either way. He acted way too slowly and things weren't done. The Dred Scott decision is from a slave from the Missouri area during the 1830s. His master took him from that area up north to Illinois and Wisconsin, to free soil, no longer in the South. And then they trekked back down south. After the slave master passed away, some ancestors of his came along and they wanted to grant this slave his freedom. It went to Supreme Court. They went in litigation for about 4 or 5 years. And at the end of it, freed blacks were not enslaved again, but a lot of their rights and citizenships that they were owed and justified to have were not granted or given to them, and some even were taken away. So President Lincoln, he was a great man. He was a perplexed man. I think that he was, a lot of his actions came from the head instead of the heart. And like I said again, I'll reiterate, I won't say it again, do the research for yourselves, find credible resources. The Lincoln movie was great, but it's just about as believable as the Lincoln vampire movie also. So there are some parts in it that are factual, but then there are more facts that are left out. I'll just say it that way, but I did enjoy the film. That is it on President Abraham Lincoln and his relationship to the American slave. Next, we want to talk about a little bit of martial art. It's called Capoeira. and it comes from Brazil and Portugal, is actually derived from Brazilian slaves who were captured by their Portuguese masters and overseers. Capoeira is an art form that incorporates music, dance, and self-defense tactics and is developed into a world-renowned martial art. It is one, if not only, the only one martial arts that is practiced to music in all ritual and training aspects of it. Also, the movements are full of flips and turns and handstands and somersaults and is more evasive based than encounter based. Once again, leading back to the fact that these slaves were more caught up in the act of escaping to their freedom than actually putting hands on the master. The dance aspect of that comes from it allowed the slaves to cover up the defense tactics they were practicing by making it like it was a rhythmic or ritual dance move. And that way they could practice freely on the plantations because, as we all know, no type of organization was allowed. In fact, it was forbidden for the most part unless it was an approved church service or something like that. So when you look at capoeira from that aspect, it was very innovative, very creative, and it allowed these captive people to have some sense of freedom, self-worth, and a feeling of security and defense in case that situation arose. Capoeira. So look it up, get some more information. They have classes all around the DMV area. I just saw a live presentation about 2 months ago in the month of October, and it was great. And it was anywhere from 5-year-olds to 50-year-olds and various races as well, so black, white, Hispanic, and anything else in between. So it's capoeira. It is spelled Capoeira. That's Capoeira. Capoeira, the Brazilian martial arts that has derived all the way back from slave times. Well, everyone, it's been my pleasure to be your host. This has been Slavery Unknown. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.